欢迎来到赛后采访，我是主持人 Reirachuu。当然，恭喜 PSG 赢下今天本场的比赛。Hey guys, and welcome to the post-match interview. I'm Reirachuu. Here with me today is none other than PSG superstar support Kaiwing. Kaiwing, can you introduce yourself? 那今天来到我们的赛后采访是 PSG 的辅助 Kaiwing， 先跟大家打个招呼吧。
Hello， 大家好，我是 PSG 的辅助凯云。
Congrats on getting the 3-0 today. I wanted to ask because during the regular season, you guys went 2-0 versus DCG. Were you expecting to 3-0 them today so fast? 当然也要恭喜你们，只有今天成功的以3-0的成绩战胜了 DCG。常规赛碰到他们的时候，就碰到他们两次都是由 PSG 获胜。想问，就今天是不是也有预测到 PSG 会3-0呢？
就因为我们在常规赛的时候，两次打他们都是赢下来嘛，所以这一次这个 BO5 的话也是蛮有自信的，因为之前还没输过。
就会预测到那个战绩会是3-0吗？
我觉得是有自信能够3-0的，所以今天还是做到了。
So he said that because when they met during the regular season, of course, they managed to 2-0 them. So coming into today, they had a lot of confidence in today's series as well that they would be able to do well. And he said that, yeah, actually, they kind of had the confidence that the score would also end up being 3-0 at the end of the series, not just that they would win. So my next question I want to ask you is with regards to game number 2, in the early game, about 4 minutes in bot, when Bear came down to help gank the bottom lane, but ended up giving up first blood. Can you explain to us what the mistake was at that point in time? 接下来想问的就是关于第二把前期下路，就是那个熊过来帮你们下路来 gank 的时候，居然给了手杀，就那一波的失误，可以解释一下那时的情况吗？
就他当时候觉得看到我们下路准备想换血的时候，然后他看到那个对面拉蒂鲁斯就是没闪的嘛，然后他太兴奋了，他直接闪现过去，以为可以杀掉，但他没发现其实他已经在砍他，所以变成是丢掉了一颗头，所以有点那个对我们下路是比较难受，因为那个双 buff 也是给对面的。
So he said that he kind of put most of the blame onto his mid lane, onto his jungler there. He said that what happened was Volibear saw that the opposite Nautilus didn't have flash, and he saw that their 2v2 versus in bottom lane, Kaiwing and Unified were getting ready to trade with their opponents. He realized Not had no flash, and so their jungler just got a bit too excited and he wanted to flash to engage onto them, but then he didn't notice that he was actually tanking the tower right from the start, and so he gave up that first blood. And he said that he thinks that actually kind of harmed the bot lane significantly because he also gave over the double buff to DCG. So I wanted to ask about what happened after that, because you guys were able to recover so well. You and Unified went to hang out in the bot side bush right there to wait for the enemies to walk in, and then Unified ended up with the double kill. So who made that call right there, and what was the plan like? 那之后就是蹲草反打，然后给了 Unify 双杀，是谁的主意？然后你们那时候的计划是什么？
因为基本上嘛，从他们的角度来说，他们杀完一个打野，然后大兵线是过来的，然后理论上来说他们是需要把兵线推掉，然后再回家的。所以我们就可能利用这一点，然后我就说，草丛可以等一下看他们怎么动作，然后我们就看到那个拉蒂斯走进来了嘛，然后就他有双 buff， 然后肯定杀掉啊，因为我们本来打野送了一颗嘛，然后对面带着双 buff 过来了，我们肯定要把打野的双 buff 拿回来啊，这样的话，对，才我们下路不会这么劣势。
So he said that because their bottom lane were able to get the double buff and they're able to get the first kill. So if you go logically, what their team would do next would be they want to push the wave into PSG's tower and then recall back home. So Kaiwing actually was the one who told Unified, at this point in time, I think that we can try something. I think that if we stay in the grass right here, they're probably going to push the lane towards us. So that's what they did. He also said that because their Nautilus had the double buff and also because they had given up one hit, one kill. So they were one kill behind, and they were already behind in lane. That was the opportunity for them to come back into the game and make that lane even again. All right. So my next question, a follow up from that I want to ask is that I know you mentioned before in interviews that actually because you and Unified, you've been playing together as a bot duo for so long that you don't really need to communicate so much when you're laning. However, in situations such as what just happened, do you still have to communicate beforehand, or is it just a matter of, you walk into the bush, you stand there, Unified sees you and goes, oh, we're going to stay here and do this. I got it. Is it like that, or do you still need to talk it out?
然后接下来想问，就是之前凯文也有说过，就是你们的双路组合，就是对线的时候其实不怎么会说话，毕竟就是老搭档了嘛。然后是有点好奇，就这种时刻，你们会不会提前沟通好？就是比如说要在那里蹲草反打呢，还是就是说你是先站着，然后 Unify 看到了就会自动跟上去呢？
其实去年我说的是本来是这样子的，但是我觉得后面的话Unified他的操作跟想法慢慢变差了，所以变成是又要重新再说话提醒去他。本来去年是的确不用说话的，这大家都知道的，但今年的话就需要不停的提醒，没办法的，需要弥补一下。
So he said that it is true that last year during the interviews, he did say that when he's in the laning phase with Unified, he doesn't actually need to tell Unified that much because Unified gets it. However, the difference this year is that he thinks that Unified's thinking has just slowly changed over the course of this year, and he thinks that Unified's thinking has gone in the wrong direction lately, so he has no choice but to constantly remind Unified how to play during the lane. He said that he's got no choice but to be a bit overboard and constantly remind Unified how to play out the lane. The next question that I want to ask is, in today's series especially, we saw you play with a lot of initiative. A lot of times you started roaming very early. Was this because their opposite bot duo wasn't giving you a lot of pressure?
那接下来问题就是今天在非常早期的时候就开始游走了，想问呢，就是这是因为对手的下路没有给到你那么多的压力吗？
可能是利用一些对线的小技巧吧，所以变成是可能我有一个先手有主动权，然后再看下机会，看对面给不给机会这样子。但今天的话都的确抓到一个蛮不错的机会，帮我们的中野打开破局。
So he said that usually the way that he likes to play out the bot lane, he likes to find those little opportunities. He has to use those little tips and tricks here and there to get very small advantages in the bottom lane. He said that today, for example, he thinks that he was able to find a couple of good timings where he was able to push that advantage and then carry that advantage over to mid as well as jungle and give them a bit more prio and a bit more space on the map. I have to ask this as well really quickly. How do you think that this year's PSG compares to last year's PSG?
那也当然想问，就是凯文个人会认为，就是今年的 PSG 跟去年的 PSG 相比，差距会在哪里呢？
我觉得可能就是最主要就是沟通，就沟通可能还没做到蛮不错，跟去年差不多顺的到位，然后可能有时候一些小误会跟沟通上的一些障碍，变成是可能比赛看起来就比较奇怪，就有一些人是做 A， 有一些人是做 B 的事情，所以这一点的话，今年我们会慢慢努力加强这个东西，希望在后面的比赛会慢慢变好。
So he said that he thinks that the main difference between this year's PSG and last year's PSG for sure is their communication and their comms between the team. He said that sometimes the team players aren't really on the same page. He said that it's to do with not being able to communicate properly, and also he says sometimes people say that they want to do A but then they end up doing B, or someone says that they're going to do A and then someone else ends up doing B instead. He said that he thinks this is the biggest thing that they want to improve. He hopes that in the following matches matches, they will be improving more on at this point, and that he hopes they'll get better in the future in terms of communication. My last question I gotta ask is, who do you think your biggest rival in the PCS this season is? And what are your thoughts on playing versus CFO next week? So 最后我想问的就是目前 PCS 最大的劲敌会是谁呢？然后对于下周对上 CFO 你有什么意见
？PCS 最大的劲敌肯定是我们的 J Team 宇宙大哥 CFO 了，因为他们做有了一个 PCS Faker， 然后现在还多了一个 PCS Canyon， 然后上路也是 PCS 的鬼，然后辅助的话 PCS Kelia，AD 的话也是 PCS 那个姑妈游戏，所以我觉得这个阵容的话，我们在14号的比赛的话，必须要好好去防守，然后认真的去面对他们，不要让他们把我们的优势。他们的优势拉太开，这样子，所以我们尽量好好小心一下打。
He said that for sure the biggest rivals in the PCS are definitely JT Universe CFO team, because he said that CFO, you know, their roster is unstoppable. They've got PCS Faker, they've got PCS Carrier, they've got PCS Canyon, they've got PCS Gumayushi, they've got the whole version of the LCK squad over in the PCS 1-for-1. He thinks that they're the biggest rivals, and for the match on the 14th, he doesn't want CFO to be able to run away with any advantage. He says if CFO get an advantage during the match, they're going to try very hard to defend and not allow them to win the game off of that. He said that they're going to be taking their match on the 14th very seriously. All right, thank you so much, Kaiwing, for the interview. Of course, good luck for the rest of playoffs. 好的，那非常感谢凯文选手接受今天的赛后采访，当然要祝 PSG 下周加油。接下来就是主播台喽，拜拜，Kaiwing。
拜。